It was the 4th of July, and the sky was wide open with sun and celebration. My friends had invited me to the beach. I had the perfect outfit picked out. A brand new sweater I'd bought just a few days earlier. It was soft, stylish, expensive, even at a discount. And it was gone. Vanished. Not on the floor. Not in the laundry. Not hidden behind hangers. I stood in the middle of my room, staring at an empty space where it should have been. A silence rising in my chest, louder than fireworks. And that was when the suspicion hit me like a cold wave. I think my roommate stole it. I know how that sounds. I do. Accusing someone is never simple, but this wasn't just about a sweater. It was about a pattern, about boundaries blurred one too many times, and about trust that had quietly, slowly, eroded into something I didn't recognize anymore. Let me back up. I'm 23. I've been living in an apartment with 3 other women, a classic college setup. 4 names on the lease, shared kitchen, shared air, shared silence when things get uncomfortable. But recently, everything's been shifting. One of our roommates, B, graduated and moved back home. Another, C, got a job that came with on-campus housing. They're technically still on the lease, still paying rent, but their rooms are empty now. That left me and A, the roommate at the center of this mess. A is 20, younger than me, and for the past few days, things between us have been tense. She's moving out soon, just across the building, into a new unit. And I'm moving into her old room, a single with a door that actually locks. Earlier this week, she texted me asking if I could give her the deposit money I owe her. Early. Now, we have a lease. It's clear. The money's not due until the 20th. I told her I couldn't pay until next week, when my paycheck comes in. That's reasonable, right? She didn't give me notice. She just assumed I'd bend. The next day, she says she can't pay rent on time and doesn't know when she'll get paid. I suggest she talk to the landlord. Again, reasonable. She shrugs it off, says there's not much she can do. I'm stuck between her need and my own limits, and I'm trying not to take it personally, but it feels personal. And then, the sweater. It wasn't just any sweater. Retail, $79. I got it for half off because my friend works at the store. But still, it was new. Mine. I had it hanging in my closet for days. I remember touching it, admiring it, anticipating the moment I'd wear it in the wind by the ocean. And suddenly, it's gone. Now here's where it gets murky. See, A has a history. Not dramatic theft, but little things. Borrowing food without asking. Leaving dishes unwashed. Once, I found my glass straws, the ones I kept in a drawer, out on the counter next to boxes she was packing. Nobody else in this apartment owns glass straws, especially not the small ones I bought in that eco set last spring. So I stood there on that bright July morning, my beach plans on pause, and I made a choice. I walked into her room. I know. That's the moment some people will draw the line. But hear me. Her door wasn't locked. The room was half-packed, chaos boxed in cardboard. I wasn't rifling through her drawers. I wasn't invading secrets. I was looking for a piece of my life I felt had been taken. And there it was. Not the sweater, not directly, but a hanger, black, identical to mine. Same shape, same feel, same little stamped serial number, D1. I checked my own hangers. Same marking, same brand, same batch. I stood there staring at it on her bed, all her clothes gone except some dirty laundry left behind. The closet mostly empty. The implication was heavy. My sweater could already be packed, already moved, gone. I messaged her. I asked, calmly, directly, if she'd taken my sweater. She denied it, said she didn't touch it. No mention of the hanger, no surprise, just denial. When I told my friends what happened, one of them shook their head, said I shouldn't have gone in her room, that even if I suspected her, I crossed a line. And now I'm stuck in the gray space between what I know and what I can prove. She's still asking for the deposit, still expecting me to hand over money before it's due, before she's even finished moving. And I'm left wondering if I'm the only one trying to follow the rules while everyone else bends them to convenience. So much of this isn't about the sweater. It's about the silent violations that add up over time. The little moments where you give someone grace again and again until suddenly you're the only one making compromises. It's about the way some people assume your kindness is a blank check. And it's about privacy, hers and mine. She stepped into my space without asking, taken food, possibly taken belongings, left evidence behind like it didn't matter. And when I stepped into her space, not to retaliate, but to find what was mine, I became the one under scrutiny. What would you have done? Should I have just let it go? Bought a new sweater and swallowed the injustice like a bitter pill? Or does standing up for yourself mean being willing to risk discomfort, to say, this isn't okay, this isn't fair? The thing is, I don't know for certain. I didn't find the sweater. I found a hanger, circumstantial, suggestive, but not proof. And without proof, my position feels flimsy, emotional, questionable. Still, I know what I felt. The rising dread, the sense that something wasn't right, the cold emptiness of that missing item and what it symbolized. Maybe that's the real theft. Not the sweater, but the trust. The belief that my home was safe, that my things were respected, that the people I live with cared enough to ask before taking, that we had mutual understanding. And now, it's just this. Silence. She denied it. I didn't press further. I didn't accuse. I didn't escalate. I just sat with it. And now she's gone. Moved out. A room empty, except maybe for the echoes of things she never returned. So, am I the asshole? For going into her room? For needing closure? For wanting what was mine? Or for simply not being willing to let this one go, even when it would have been easier? Because at the end of the day, I'm left with no sweater, no apology, just the memory of a door quietly closing behind someone who took more than she admitted and left less than she promised. And now I'm here, sitting with the aftermath and wondering if the cost of peace is always silence. This story hits different, not because it's about a sweater, but because it's about boundaries, about how easily they slip when no one is watching, about the emotional toll of living with people who treat your space like theirs, your things like shared property, and your patience like an unlimited resource. We've all been there. A roommate who borrows without asking, a friend who oversteps, a relationship where the balance slowly tips and you realize you've been giving more than you're getting. And when you finally draw a line, sometimes you're the one made to feel guilty. This isn't just about roommates. It's about trust. About how we learn to stand up for ourselves when the rules stop protecting us. About how sometimes doing what's technically wrong, like stepping into someone's room, might be the only way to reclaim what's emotionally right. But here's the twist. Even when you're justified, it still hurts. Because doing the right thing doesn't always feel good. Sometimes it leaves you lonelier, more confused, still sweaterless. So here's the question for you. When someone steals your trust, not blatantly, but quietly, how do you take it back without losing yourself in the process? Comment below, share your story, and let's be real about how hard it is to choose dignity over comfort, especially when no one's watching. This is AITA Stories, and sometimes being the bigger person means walking through the fire of doubt just to find the truth on the other side.